so excited to be here with you guys today. I'm excited to continue the curl love. How many of us are doing curls behind the chair? We love to hear it. My name is Monice Lopez. I am out here from California, so not too far, but I'm so excited to be here with you guys to share a little bit more about two things that I love: curly hair and cash. How much do we love curly hair? Woo! And how much do we love cash? That's even better, because let's talk about it, right? The reason why we do what we love is we're so passionate about what we do and what we love, but we also love to make some good money. And that's what we want to learn more about, right? How we transform all of that knowledge and all of that passion into more money, and to also spreading some good curl love. You guys ready to learn a little bit more? Perfect. So I am out here representing the amazing brand Ouidad. Have you guys heard of Ouidad before? Have you guys experienced it behind the chair? Maybe used some amazing products that we have to offer? So one of the things that I absolutely love about our brand is that we service all curl types. Sometimes we might struggle with that. We might not be able to find a product or specific products that can service all of our curl types, because we know that curls are 1 in a million, right? Not every curl is the same. We're dealing with different densities, different textures, a completely different approach with each and every client. So we want something that's going to be able to help serve all of those clients. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that curls into cash. What makes us different behind anybody else? We are stylist created, we are salon perfected, and we are curl approved. Those things are all so important because we want to listen to all of you guys behind the chair. What are you guys needing? We want to help create that. We want your guys' feedback into creating all of our future products. We're salon perfected. We want to give that professional finish at the end, right? We don't want something to be like, well, this works sometimes. We want it to work all the time. So it needs to be salon approved. Then we're going into curl approved. Are those curls hydrated? Are they getting the love that they're needing? Are we getting the results that we're wanting? Ouidad has been around for 40 years now. Can you believe it? It is absolutely amazing to be a part of this family that has serviced. I have been behind the chair for about 15 years now, and about 10 of those years I've been a curly hair specialist. It has been a complete game changer for me behind the chair. If you have not incorporated adding curls into your service wheel, I highly encourage it. It's going to make such a big difference all across the board, because we have a lot more to offer, and we have a lot more clientele that we need to service that isn't getting the service that they're needing, right? That's what we're here to do. So our tagline here at Ouidad and our mission is, let curls be curls. I love that, and I love letting that sink in a little bit more. Because sometimes we have a curly in our chair and we're like, this curl is just not really listening and we want it to sit somewhere else. Well, we need to let the curls be curls. Let's listen to them. Let's give them what they're needing. Some curls might have different wants and needs. Sometimes it depends on the day, right? It's not always the same exact thing every single day. So we want to let curls be curls. So with Ouidad, we have a specific architecture in our products. It makes it very simple for anyone who is able to just reach for a product. I have displayed up here one of my favorites. If you have not experienced us before, our advanced climate control line is for all curl types. If you're not noting what to reach for, if you're like, what do I get? Where do I start? What do I let my clients know what to grab? Maybe we're behind the chair. Maybe we're just behind the desk. We're not knowing what to prescribe. I always recommend our advanced climate control line. This is going to help get us frizz-free curls. Do we like frizz-free curls? Because I love some frizz-free curls. We're wanting definition, we're wanting shine, we're wanting frizz-free curls. If you are ever in the want to know of where to start, that's going to be your basic starting. Then we go into our loose curls and into our waves. When we go into our loose curls and into our waves, what are our loose curls and our waves wanting? They're wanting definition because we want to see them. A lot of the times they're harder to see, right? We think of that very loose S pattern. And they're also needing encouragement. We want to see them more. So we formulated within our products to make sure that those curls are getting what they want and need. We go into our spiral curls. A lot of the times our spiral curls are some of my favorite curls just because they're so malleable, they're so manipulatable. We can stretch them, we can encourage them. A lot of the times we get a little bit more confused with some of our spiral curls because when we go into different densities, we might think that they're a different curl because they can lift up so much. Then we go into our tight curls. Our tight curls, we have our curl quencher line. This has amazing formulation to make sure that our curls are nice and hydrated. A lot of our tight curls are wanting more elongation. They're already there. We know they're there, right? We just want that elongation through there to make sure that we're getting more length because we all know that a tight curl is like, no, please don't cut my hair. I'm trying to grow it out. How many of us have heard that before? Please don't cut my length. I'm trying to grow it out. Absolutely. And then we go into our coils. We're wanting the same thing, but a lot of the time with our coilies, we're wanting a lot of that extra nutrients and hydration. We're wanting to get that elongation even more so because there's so much definition through there. There's so much within our product line and our architecture that we have to offer. There's a product for everyone, and that's what I love. So, some curly facts. What are some things that are different with our clients that are curly? Did you guys know that 65% of women have naturally curly hair? We might not know that because we don't always wear our hair curly, right? You guys probably know even more from social media how many people have discovered over the last 5 years that they actually have curly hair. Have we heard that more? I just realized my hair is curly. Sometimes they're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on all these other social media platforms when we're like, girl, I knew your hair was curly. You just need a little hydration. But now we have the versatility, right? We have the versatility and the products and the education to make sure that we're servicing those clients. About 90% of my clients are curly. Whether they wear it that way or not is a different story, but I know how to service them. I know their wants and needs. Just because they don't wear their hair curly all of the time, they might be a summer curly girl. It's too hot, I don't want to do a blowout, I'm going to wear my hair natural in the summer. I need to know the wants and needs and to make sure that they're geared up with success, which means more product, right? We need to make sure that they have the right products that they're set up with, whether that's them wearing natural, with them blowing out, and with our advanced climate control line, we can service all of those needs. That also means more money, more cash, right? Because they're wanting a lot more products they're willing to spend. Have we noticed that behind the chair? They don't even question it. It works. You can prove that it works. You styled my hair with it working. I want 5. Let's just make sure that we're good to go on that, right? How many of us have noticed the shift? Did we think it was a trend in the last 5 years when people were starting to wear their hair curly? And then we noticed it wasn't a trend. People were embracing it. It was something that was so beautiful to be able to see that people were starting to embrace their natural texture. But it comes back down to the education. And one of the things that I love about Ouidad is we're not just products. If you haven't checked out our education website, I'm going to make sure I touch on this on the very end at ouidadeducation.com. You can have all of that education that you're needing to make sure that you have continued education. We have certifications. We offer a specialty certification cut for curly hair. This has been such a game changer for me behind the chair to service my clients and making sure that they're actually getting the proper cut that they're needing. The best thing that I love about that specific cut is that it's versatile. How many of us have been like, oh, I love a good curly cut, but the times that I want to cheat on my curls a little bit, sometimes we're dealing with a lot of steppage, a lot of different things that we're not able to wear it versatilely. Now we don't have that problem. So the average ticket definitely goes up when they're behind the chair, when we're having a specialty, when we're doing a specialty cut, we're having great products to back this, and we're having the education to make sure that they're knowing how to apply these. Behind the chair, I offer a service called a curl experience. Have you guys heard of curl experiences lately? People starting their curl journey. Within a curl experience, I make sure that I book out the extra time so that way all of these curly facts get met. I'm making sure that they're educated about their curls, that we're not just talking about their curl type, but we're talking about their density, we're talking about their texture, we're talking about their lifestyle, because their lifestyle has a big difference into which products I'm going to recommend. And it's going to give us a little bit of a different result. And then we're making sure that they're geared up for success when they leave. So behind the chair, how are we turning that curls into gash? We know that time is money, right? The more time that we're spending behind the chair, we want to be productive within that time. So if we are specializing in something, we're able to raise that ticket price. So especially curly cut, along with our products, is going to make a big difference in that. How many of us track our numbers weekly? Do we have goals that we have set for us? One of the main things that I always say is, how are we going to get to where we're wanting to go if we don't know where we're going? We have to make sure that we have a great map in knowing what that is. At the beginning of our week, at the beginning of our day. What are those numbers looking like? If I need to sell one more product to get there, if I need to add one more treatment to get there, I'm going to make it happen. And a lot of that is just about educating our clients. A lot of the time, we go into the retail side of things and we don't want to force a product on somebody. I simply educate. Once we educate somebody and making sure that they have everything that they're needing to be successful, it will make such a big difference. So where do you want to go? Where are you wanting to take your business? Are you wanting to stay within a specific number, or are we wanting to grow that? And then we want to make sure that everything is possible. When I first started my curl experience with Ouidad about 10 years ago, I didn't know a thing about curly hair. And that was one of the reasons as to why I wanted to start the journey. I wanted to make sure that I could service anyone behind the chair. And having that knowledge and that education really made a difference. So what did I do? I went and got certified through Ouidad. I wanted to make sure that all curl types would be able to be serviced, and that even if it wasn't something that I specialized in, it was something that I was able to give knowledge about. What products do I recommend? Who can I send someone to that can be trusted? Because we know that curlies have all been traumatized, right? They've all had their experiences where they've had a bad cut. They've had their experiences where they're gripping the chair a little bit tighter and making sure that they are, okay, can I trust you? You say you're a curl specialist, but I'm not quite sure. But once you have that curly client, you have them for life. So when we're talking about that productivity, we're talking about all of these things that are happening behind the chair. Typically, when we're talking about treatments and bringing our service ticket back up, I have clients ask me, do you think that I need a treatment today? I love our triple treat deep conditioner because it penetrates the cuticle within 3 minutes. So guess what? I always have time for an add-on service. I always have time to condition somebody's hair. And when they ask me that, do you think that I'm going to say, no, your hair's fine. It doesn't need extra moisture. It doesn't need that extra hydration. Of course, I'm going to say, well, it doesn't hurt. Through season changes, through life changes, as we start going through, it makes such a big difference into knowing that we can service these clients and add on these services. So not only are we helping our clients behind the chair, but we're also helping our cash go up, right? Then we just spoke about serving versus selling. We're educating these clients on knowing what they're needing and what they're wanting. I have had clients come behind the chair. I go through, I put my products in display right in front, and I say, this is what we used on you today. Can I grab anything for you? A lot of the time what ends up happening is sometimes they have a cabinet, and some of us do already, under the sink, just a ton of products underneath. And they say, well, I have some stuff at home now that you've educated me a little bit more. I might just use the rest of that, and then when I run out, I'll come back. They always come back. Because with Ouidad, our products are unlike any other. They will give you the results that you're actually looking for and that you're wanting. One of the other things that really sets us apart, that is different behind the chair, is that our products are water soluble. So how many of times have we had a client come in and they just have a ton of buildup in their hair? And they're like, well, I clarified my hair and now my hair's dry and I'm going through this cycle, this endless cycle of dry hair and product buildup. Well, what we really want to do is make sure that we're stopping that cycle right in the beginning. We're making sure that we're using water-soluble products that aren't going to build up in your hair. That we can get a nice clarification once a month, not once a week. We want to make sure that our scalp is healthy and clean and that those products are fully penetrating into the cuticle and then rinsing out what else we need. So educating our clients more about our products, why it makes a difference to actually invest into a professional line, is going to be a game changer. At the end of the day, turning curls into cash is really simple. It really comes back down to education. It comes back to servicing our clients and letting them know if we're using the right products, if we're investing in someone who's also invested in their education to go through a certification, then we really have nothing to worry about. I'll take care of you. So if we're looking at the difference of business growing opportunities, let's talk about how many of us are in suites? Awesome. And how many of us are in some bigger salons? Awesome. So a little bit of both, right? So let's say if we're by ourselves, we can still grow that by adding on our treatments, by adding on this specialty charge for a new curly cut. But imagine if we also had a bigger salon. If you're coming in from a bigger salon, a way to talk about that is, what if you had 4 stylists that were certified and specializing in curls and knowledgeable? The way that you can grow that. The way that if everyone added 2 more treatments, if everyone added 2 more specialty cuts, how those numbers will grow. So this is a great representation of a Ouidad cut pricing into a treatment and adding on to their product. Now, these are some rough numbers. So as education goes, we always know to give ourselves raises, right? We have to be good about that, making sure that we're charging what we're worth. So this might be an introductory level pricing that somebody starts as a curl specialist. Imagine that growing from 2, 3, 10 years, how much that number is going to go, because you're going to also be in demand. Currently, right now, I'm booked out about 6 weeks at a time, and I have clients that drive 3-4 hours to come and see me. And what do we say when we have a really booked clientele? We up our prices. So as we continue to grow, and as our education continues to grow, we can see that number grow as well. So talking about giving that raise to yourself, sometimes it's not even over time. It's an instant raise. That quick investment into educating yourself on that product line, as well as a curly cut. How many of you guys have heard about our specialty curly cut certification? Awesome. Have any of us taken it before? That means that we need to, right? It's just a great tool to add onto your belt and to make sure that we're having a little bit more of that education and to knowing how to service them. Now, this doesn't mean that we need to specialize in it. It doesn't mean that we need every single one of our clients needs to be curly. But it means that we now have that education to raise those numbers a little bit more. And I promise you that someone will search you out. Because after that certification, what ends up happening is you end up on our website at Ouidad.com. So when someone is looking for a little bit more education, they'll be able to see, oh, I'm in Kansas. Oh, I'm over here in Chicago. Who can I see? Or you might be in California. You might also visit one of our flagships. One of our first flagships that opened was in New York, and we're still there. To go to a curly salon that only services curly hair, which is incredible. How empowering is that as a curly girl to walk into a salon that is there to service you? So I want to talk a little bit more about that continued education. So we don't jump right back into our certification. We want to make sure that you guys are geared up for certification. So we talk about our Curl Lab. In our Curl Lab, that talks about our product architecture. So that way you guys are geared up for success. What do these products do? Why would I reach for a specific product over another one? Is one bad? Is a cream bad versus a gel bad versus a mousse bad? Does this one really dry my hair out more? Why doesn't this one hold that much? And making sure that you already have that going into a cutting class. Because the last thing when we're cutting is we want to worry about styling. I think if all of us as stylists could collectively feel better about how to style curly hair, we'll be much happier as a team of stylists and making sure I can service you. Then we go into our curl confidence. Within our curl confidence, we talk a little bit more about the consultation, a curly girl mindset, because it's different. A lot of the times we have a curly girl come in and we're a little bit nervous. We don't really know where to start. We don't really know what conversations to be having with these curlies and to make them feel comfortable. Do we think that our curl consultation might be a little bit different than somebody else's, making them feel a little bit more at ease? That makes us feel more comfortable. So if we're having the product education as well as the curl confidence of knowing, I understand where you've been, I know what you're wanting. And a lot of the times, the main question that I ask within a consultation is, what do you love about your hair? They'll tell you a couple of things that they love, but then they'll also tell you all the things that they're not loving about their hair. And they'll talk about, oh my goodness, I hate that it's so frizzy. I just can't seem to keep some hydration in my hair. And then we know then to educate them. Frizz is environmental. It just means that our curls are thirsty. It means that there's a lot more moisture in the air than there is in our hair. So how do we combat that? We make sure that we have the products to make sure that they're getting the hydration and the hold that they're needing. By giving them that education, they're also able to recognize and realize this person knows what they're talking about. I feel a lot more comfortable and confident with them. And then we go into our certification. Our certification is a 2-day certification. That's something that we talk about all curl types. So you will get to experience waves to loose curls, spiral curls, tight curls, and coils. Because again, not all curls are the same. We want to make sure that we're servicing all of them. And we might end up having a target market within our specific area that we service more than others. But we want to make sure that you're geared up for success and knowing what to do. How many of us have sometimes had someone in our chair and we freeze? We're like, oh my goodness, how am I going to do this? Then we teach you how to curl map. Within curl mapping, what we do is we analyze the hair. We take a look at that specific curl type, but we don't just look at that curl type. We look at their density. We look at their texture. We look at their lifestyle and how a specific cut and specific products can change their life. Because one of the things that we always hear after a certification is, I wish I found you sooner. In that certification, it will either be at one of our flagship salons, or you can also do a host salon. So we can come out to you and just make sure that everything is set up for success. And after the Curl Lab, the Curl Confidence, and the certification, we can truly turn these curls into cash. How many of you guys have tried our advanced climate control line? Have you guys used this before? I love to see it. So within our advanced climate control line, this is for all curl types. We have our shampoo and conditioner. We have a great leave-in conditioner. We just launched this. This is our all-in-one leave-in conditioner through our advanced climate control line. First off, I love the nozzle, the repackaging of this, right? Because how many of us curly girls have been trying to spray something in our hair and then it gets everywhere and we're slipping and we don't even know where to start. So this is really great if we're not knowing what to start with. It's a very light leave-in conditioner. This also now protects up to 450 degrees. which is absolutely incredible. Because if we're using this not only for our curls and it's lightweight, think about this on a blowout too. If they're wanting to wear their hair smoother and they're worried about damaging their curls. This is such a great, easy go-to grab. Then we go into, we have creams and gels. How many of us know the difference between some of our creams and gels? Why would we reach for some of those? My rule of thumb is always when we reach for a gel, we're looking for more definition and longevity. When we're reaching for a cream, we're looking for a little bit more of a lived-in, aerated look. We're looking to have the curls be a little bit more open. I usually tend to reach for a cream for some of my lower density clients. We might not think that because we might think it's too heavy, right? But if we get to open up those curls a little bit more, it really gets to open up some of their density and makes them look a lot fuller than they actually are. One of the last two products that I want to talk about, just because I want to make sure that I stay connected with you guys after this, is our Featherlight Foam. Just because we're going into summer, this has been flying off of my shelves, you guys. This is so lightweight, and it gives so much hydration. This is perfect for our curly girls who are wanting something for the summer. If we're on vacation and we're wanting something lightweight, we're in and out of the water. We're not wanting something hard and crunchy, but we're also going to have some great volume. Please try this. Recommend this to one of your clients. This probably on its own won't give you the longevity that we're looking for, but it is an absolutely fantastic product. And if for some reason you're wanting to add a little bit of extra hold, check this out. We just launched this. This is our wet hairspray. So this is something that's really cool to use. I personally love to use this while the hair is still wet. While the client is flipped forward, I will spray this through, diffuse it on in. We get some extra hold for some extra volume. How many of you guys seen that many wet hairsprays out there? Completely different, right? I challenge you guys to try some of this.
You got the name of the winter.
The Advanced Climate Control line is something that flies off of my shelf. I cannot keep it in. It is something that is easy turnover. So we talked briefly about it. I wish that we had a little bit more time together. I know that it's not a lot of time to talk about how we can really turn these curls into cash besides the obvious, right? We're adding these treatments. We're adding these specialty curly cuts into our mix because we're knowing that they're wanting to search you out and to find you. So what I would love to do is to stay connected into making sure that you guys are geared up for success. So with that being said, I want you guys to go through and make sure you go on ouidadeducation.com. That's a way that you guys can find some continued education, as well as look into a lot of those extra classes. Look into that curl lab, look into that curl confidence, and look into that certification. Look into how you can really grow your business within curly hair. If you haven't already, make sure to follow Ouidad, and then make sure to follow me. I am at Mo Hair Goals. And I encourage you guys to reach out. Let's stay connected. Shoot me a message on there. If you have questions about the products, if you have questions about how I've grown my business into being completely successful, if you want to be booked out 6 weeks at a time and turning people down, which I absolutely hate, but sometimes it happens. Sometimes it's a great problem to have, right? To be able to refer clients, and there's not all of us that are able to service all of the curls ever. So we need you guys to stay connected with us. And I want you guys to continue to use our hashtags, hashtag #WeDadLove and hashtag #LetCurlsBeCurls. So I have a couple. If you haven't already been by your booth, we do have some wet brushes because wet brush is a part of our family and under our umbrella. So come see me. I have some wet brushes to hand out. And if I run out, don't worry. Come see me over at my booth and make sure you guys grab one. Thank you guys so much for having me. I am so excited that I got to be here with you guys. And if you have a chance, come say hi to me. Make sure that we stay connected. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to hand out some of these wet brushes if you guys want some, okay?